Guys, Julia here from JM Squared Vintage. Welcome back to the channel. I am here today with a bins haul, and let me tell you guys, this day was horrible until the very end. I was there early in the morning, a bunch of my buds were there, so like the vibes were high, but man, were the pickings slim. But the last couple turns of the tables completely turned the day around, so we have got a lot to talk about here. But before we get started here, guys, if this is your first time here, if this is your first time stumbling on my channel, first and foremost, welcome. I am Julia, that is my name. We talk all things thrifting and vintage and the business of reselling on the internet here. If that sounds like something that you might be into, consider hitting subscribe down below. I would love to have you along on this journey. But without further ado, guys, we've got a lot to talk about. I think I've got about 40 pieces here. And when I say that I had, I think 12 pieces before those last two table turns, I'm not kidding. Like I found 12 pieces in like 2 hours, and that is exceptionally rough for my bins. But without further ado, we've got a lot to talk about. So why don't you go grab yourself a snack, grab yourself a drink. You know I've got my matcha latte. So sit back, relax, and let's get into the goods. So the first thing I grabbed was this cute little jacket from Pole. I don't know if it's Pole or Paul, P-O-L. That is the label there. I just thought that this was a cute little boho. This is like a wide wale corduroy. I think this is a nice like transitional coat. I like the color. It feels very 70s vintage. I know a lot of people have a lot of luck with this brand. I'm very interested to hear your experience. I've only had one other piece. It didn't sell great, although it was a little bit more of a dated piece than this is. So let me know your experience. But like, I just don't have a ton of data because I don't see it all that much, right? Like the only other piece that I've ever seen, I've picked up. So I don't really get my hands on it, but I know that there are pockets where this is a really popular brand. So let me know your experience. I'm very, very interested to see how you guys do. But like sold comps on this jacket are between like 25 and 40. So I'll expect to see somewhere in that range. I'm interested to see how this moves. Oh, I'm seeing like the little detail here at the bottom. Look at how that's finished. That's kind of fun. This gives me kind of like Free People vibes, but either way, let me know your experience. I'm really interested to see how that goes for me. The next piece I grabbed was, I think this is so pretty. So this is vintage from the 90s, H1 Studio. I'm not super familiar with it. My first thought was this feels like silk, but the main reason I picked this up, first of all, it's a really pretty like iridescent, I don't know if you can kind of see, it's almost like a duochrome fabric. I don't know if that's picking up at all in the camera. It is actually not silk at all. It's viscose, but this to me is very like 90s minimalism. And guys, this show that just came out about Carolyn Bessette Kennedy and JFK Jr.'s relationship, I'm telling you right now that that is going to drive a lot of fashion choices. So make sure you're keeping your eyes out for that like 90s minimalism. It's already been bubbling up quite a bit. And I think that this show with all the buzz around it is really kind of like ramming it into the mainstream. So keep your eyes out for those pieces. If you have something that looks like it would be in her closet, make sure you're using CBK as a keyword. Like she's always been a style icon to many people, but like this is really getting that name out and that aesthetic out to the masses. And if there is one thing that can fast track a style, it's a show that is going viral. And this is going viral. Just ask C.O. Bigelow in New York how their sales are going, because it looks like they're sold out of most everything. But either way, something like this, I'm not quite sure. I don't really know the brand. I don't know if it's a bigger name brand or if it was like designer or whatnot, but I'm gonna guess somewhere probably between 30 and 50. I'll have to do a little bit more comping on it, but just based on what it is, that's what I would expect to get. And if it is a more in-demand brand, it can go a little bit higher, but you know, my expectation is between that like $30 and $50 range. Next up, this was something that was really interesting to me. So this is a black maxi dress with these really like voluminous black sleeves. And it's maxi length. It's kind of shapeless. It's like a tent silhouette and it's got a slit down at the bottom. The thing that was interesting to me, the thing that made this stand out to me is the brand. And this is Foxblood for babes that wear black. So I'm here for that. And this is, as the name would describe, a brand for babes that wear black. Like everything they sell is black. And to that end, they have a dedicated buyer base. As with any kind of alternative clothing company, and I would kind of lump that in with an alternative clothing company, there is just a big dedicated buyer pool that like really only wants to buy that kind of stuff, and a very limited amount of brands that are making those kind of items. So to me, as a reseller, that's like a magic combination. High demand, low supply, magic. So sold comps on this dress are between like $40 and $80. And I'm assuming that the 80 is probably like brand new with tags, but it looks like the resale value on that brand, like across the board, is excellent. So keep your eyes out for it. I can't really speak to the velocity of sales, but sold comps look serious. So I'm going to assume that it'll move pretty quick. I'll try to report back on it, but until then, keep your eyes out for it and grab it if you see it. Next up, I found a little pair of sweat shorts, and this is like 100% the kind of thing that I probably would have left behind on a different day, just because they are so insignificant, but they are from Nia, which is a pretty expensive brand. I recently found a little corset top that sold in like 2 days from them, and they are very expensive. These shorts I think were like $80 new. And like, to be sure, they're very nice. It's French terry, they're well made. This is like such a thing for me when I see the stitching in the waistband like this, because this is the drawstring. When you have a tall waistband like this, if you don't stitch down the drawstring, or if you don't put any rows of stitching on the waistband, like that elastic is going to curl in there and it drives me absolutely nuts. So that's always like a little tell of like quality for me anyway. But on the resale market, I'll probably see 20, 25 bucks on this. But like I said, prior to those last two like table changes, I was getting what I could get. And honestly, this is a great brand, so I'm pumped about it. And they are a size medium, so they should sell fairly quickly, but we'll find out. But either way, keep your eyes out for that label, because a lot of the pieces do have very serious resale values. So next up, this was one of the things that I found like in the middle of the day, and I was just so relieved to see a piece from Free People. But this is a sweater. This is such an interesting sweater, and I don't know if you're seeing any of the detail. Do you see all the holes there? Like that is by design. Maybe that's a little bit easier. You can kind of see. It's almost, I guess this is like a knit lace design. And this feels like mohair or like alpaca. Yeah, there you go. So it's acrylic, wool, and alpaca blend. So that's what I'm feeling. But it's really pretty. It's oversized. It's Free People. It's a size small, and you know, Free People, am I right? Size small. This could easily fit like a size extra large. It's got those like lace panels in the sleeves too. So it should be pretty easy to figure out the name of this. But I was, after about an hour and a half of digging through and finding like, I mean, everything was from Forever 21. Not even so much Shein, it was Forever 21 or Damaged. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the kind of day that it was. And it was like sweet, sweet relief when I saw this tag and I saw something in great condition. But on the resale market for something like this, maybe like 30 to 45 bucks, I'll have to find the exact name of the shirt. And I did not have time to do that when I was checking this in, but I would anticipate somewhere around that range. Next up, now this is a brand that I would generally never pick up. And honestly, even if I found this dress, despite the fact that the style is very in, I probably wouldn't have picked this up on a different day. But this is from Sincerely Jules. And honestly, I take that back. I probably would have picked this up. So this is kind of like a Y2K style lace trim satin cami gown. And Sincerely Jules is sold at like TJ Maxx, I think. It's a boutique brand, but this style in particular, you know, we've talked about this a lot if you've watched any of my like trends and aesthetics videos. This is very Y2K style, and we've been seeing this on Trendsetters for about 5 years. Starting about 5 years ago, we started to see this Y2K style. So what we're seeing is this Y2K style hitting mass peak adoption this summer. So while that does tend to mean that after this summer, we'll start to probably see it start to decline a little bit. It'll be a little bit lower next year, and then it'll probably drop off within 2 years. That means that the most amount of people are going to be looking for these pieces. They're going to be the hardest to find in thrift stores, because that's always going to be the first place that people are looking for them. And that generally means that you will probably be commanding the best price for them this summer. So now is the time to sell them if you've been holding on to them. And now is the time to really be keeping your eyes out for these pieces, because again, you've got the most amount of people searching for them this year. But this being from Sincerely Jules, probably somewhere like 30, 35 bucks, just because it's a more significant piece. You know, when I do my Fashion Week roundups, typically what I'm looking at is like the street photography around Fashion Week, and then of course the runway. And you have to remember that the people that are there are the real trendsetters. So these are the people that are going to be like setting the trends for the next like 4 or 5 years. So what we're seeing on the runway and what we're seeing in street style, you're gonna have like the next step in the trend curve is early adopters. And that's gonna be probably like your Brooklynites, your like Silver Lake folks, you know, your real fashion girlies, and then it's gonna coast up into like the influencer scene, and then the influencer scene will blow it up into like mass adoption, right? So you always want to be keeping your eyes out on like what is peaking this season, which in general we've been looking at for the past 4 or 5 years if we're watching the trends from inception to completion. And you also want to be looking at what's coming up. Always try to like give you an idea of where things are on the trend curve. It is a very imperfect science, but we can generally tell what's going to be happening. And then you have something like that Kennedy show that comes in and just rams that kind of aesthetic from something that was in like early adopter straight to the forefront. So it's just kind of important to remember that fashion is always fluid, but trends are trends, and they're generally, at least in terms of like flow, pretty predictable. Also, welcome to the inside of my brain. This is just how I think all the time. Next up, I know that this is something that not everybody does, but I certainly do. And this, one of like the 12 things that I had before those last 2 bins, is a little bra from Skims. So this is a balconette bra. As you can tell, the straps are really wide out here. And it's almost, if you're not sure what like the different names of bras mean, the easy way to remember what a balconette bra is like it's putting your girls on a balcony. Right? Like it's really flat across and kind of pushes them up and out. I want to say that these are about $60 new. And the thing that I really like about this is it's an unusual size. So it's a 40 quad D, DDDD. I guess that would be an F if they use the normal nomenclature. I do like that it's got the little like stickies here. Balconette bras can, especially if you have like heavy boobs, because of how far out these straps are, they can get like heavy in the middle. So I like that it's got the little stickies under here, but on the secondhand market, I'll probably see like $25-30 on these. Everybody's always down to get a good deal on a bra, especially when you're dealing with like an unusual size or a larger size, because those bras get so expensive. Money well spent, but they are expensive. All right, next up, this is another one of the ones that I had found kind of in that early point, and this is a nice one. This is from Equipment Femme, which is a super duper expensive brand. It is not as like hot in terms of like the resale market as it was, but this is absolutely something I'll still probably see about $40 on. This is just a little like cream silk polka dotted shirt. This can go for like wear to work. This is like classic, old money aesthetic, preppy, wear to work, business professional, business casual. You can use all these keywords for something like this. It's just an elevated wardrobe staple. This was probably somewhere around $300 new. Even if you see this at Saks off Fifth, which, rest in peace, it's gonna be north of $100. Like very, very expensive brand. Just mind your sourcing costs on it because it's not selling for what it used to. Like a couple years ago, this would have resold for like $60-70, but now it's more in that like upper end of the bread and butter range. Still very high quality. I love being able to pick up pieces like this. Like there are a lot of people that once they kind of drop to that range, they'll stop picking them up. And I mean, like, I get it if your whole business is built around selling things that are like north of $50, but so long as you're sourcing at the right price, they're still a great piece to pick up and flip, my humble opinion. Next up, so this is really funny. So the day before I went to the bins, this day, my mom went to the bins, and how we typically work it is she'll go and she'll have like a stack of things and she'll send me pictures and we'll kind of go through and say yay or nay on all the pieces. And she found, I'm pretty sure, it wasn't like an individual picture of this piece, but I'm pretty sure she found this exact same shirt in this exact same color one day before I did on the other side of the country. So go figure. This is FP1. And that's an easy tag to miss if you're unsure. This is one of the Free People lines if you are unfamiliar. And this is just a little like waffle knit, almost like a little bit of a shacket. Like the collar and the placket are a little bit more substantial. These feel like they're a little bit more jacket style. So I'll have to find the exact name of this, but in a quick like Google image search, it looks like these are reselling, like this specific model is reselling somewhere in the vicinity of like $40 to $70. So definitely one to keep your eyes out for. And I'll tell you, I think this is a size extra small, first of all. Excuse me, extra small. I guess you can kind of see it in the arms. But like, I really like this. So I'll have to see which size the one my mom got is. And maybe I'll keep one and sell one. Or maybe I'll sell both and buy one in my size. You know what I'm saying? Definitely a great little find. Keep your eyes out. These like kind of casual sweat panty type shirts that like look like a shirt like this, but are in like a sweatshirt material or a waffle. They sell really well. They're like a nice step between a sweatshirt and like a shirt. I think that a lot of, people that work from home or a lot of like stay-at-home moms, like they like something like that. It lets them feel a little bit more pulled together than just being in a sweatshirt, but the comfort level is still maximum. So keep your eyes out for pieces like this. Like I personally own 3 and I wear them to death. I love them. Next up, this is one of the earlier pieces. This is from a brand called, I'm gonna butcher this, Sargentana Purewear. I'm not quite sure much about this brand. I picked this up more for just what it is. It's really lightweight cotton in this kind of like a chambray weave. It gives it a really cool effect with that like richer back color. This is more than anything, I picked this up because this is basically men's resort wear, and men's resort wear has been selling like crazy for me. Literally just today I sold 2 pieces. So it is game time. It is spring break time. Like I'm filming this on March 4th and it is like in full swing. This is the first big week of spring breaks, and you've got spring breaks and then you've got Easter breaks and then you've got like graduations and stuff. So right now is the time to be selling that resort wear because it's kind of early in the season. So it's not necessarily something you can find in stores in a lot of places. It's starting to be available, but between like January and March, it's kind of a no man's land for that kind of stuff. Like nobody's putting swimsuits out in January, right? But people are buying them. Next up, this is so pretty. This is a little Banana Republic sweater, just a cream V-neck, ultra lightweight wool sweater. It's an alpaca wool blend and like slightly sheer. Sheer's still having a big moment, so make sure if you have anything like this that is sheer or semi-sheer, you're using that keyword because people are searching for it. But something like this, it's Banana Republic, so it's not anything that'll get a crazy amount of money for, somewhere probably like 20 to 30 bucks. And no doubt this will go pretty quickly. It's a size medium, staple color, staple piece. Especially when you have like good neutral colors like your creams, your whites, your blacks, your grays, your browns. Those kind of pieces go pretty quickly. Next up, this is a funny thing. So I found this like jumpsuit. This is from Quince. It's like a ribbed tensile, super duper comfy jumpsuit. And I remember finding it and showing it to a friend and just being like, I wish I could live in this thing. This feels so comfy, so breezy, so easy to wear. Yeah, it's a maternity thing. This is a nursing top, so it's got like easy access to nurse. So I won't be living in something like this, but either way, these kind of things I'm sure for new moms are like a total godsend, a one-piece wonder. You don't have to worry about it. It's easy to nurse in. It's comfortable. Everything's just kind of like skimming over your body as your body is like recovering from the trauma of childbirth. But these on the resale market are going like between $30 and $45. So I'll do a little bit more research on size and color and all that kind of stuff, but this should sell pretty quickly. Anything that I have that is like not necessarily maternity, but more like post-birth, so anything like nursing related, tends to sell incredibly quickly for me. I am very interested to hear if you guys have the same experience. I'm talking like nursing shawls fly out of my closet. I don't think I've ever had one for more than like 3 or 4 days. And I've sold a lot of them. Anything like nursing tops, anything like that, like they sell very, very quickly for me. So let me know your experience. Let's see if we can get ourselves a little bit of a consensus on that. But for me, I'm keeping my eyes out for them. Oh, next up. Now this is a label I've never found in the thrift. I have found it in my closet multiple times. I am a pajama girly, and that is Print Fresh. So that is a label you should be keeping your eyes out for. I think this is an older style, doesn't necessarily matter. They are a print shop that is out of Philadelphia, go Birds, and they make the most delightful pajamas with beautiful like hand-done prints. They do a lot of seasonal things. If you're looking to gift for people, these are a great thing, but they do tend to resell very, very well. I just haven't ever sold any of mine, nor have I sold anything that I found because I've never found it in the thrift. But like I said, they are one of my favorites and I know what I pay for them. And I know that there's a lot of people out there that pay up for their pajamas like I do. This is like my ultimate indulgence. I love my PJs. So keep your eyes out for it. I'll probably see, just for the shirt, not necessarily for both pieces, I'll still probably see 30, 35 bucks. If I had the full set, especially with this being like an older print, there might be a little bit of extra demand, but I need to do a little bit more research on it. But if I did have a full set, I'd probably be looking at like somewhere between 50 and 100 bucks. So I love Print Fresh from like the bottom of my heart. Ooh, next up, this is a little golf shirt that I got for my dad, and he just looks amazing in blue, so I like to get him blue golf shirts. This is nothing really special. What is special about it is that it's from Indian Wells Country Club, which is a pretty famous course out in Palm Springs area. So again, not necessarily for sale. If I was gonna sell this, this would probably be like 15 to 20 bucks, but blue is his color. He loves golf shirts, and he loves like the famous golf logos. So just again, not for sale. Next up, this is gonna be kind of in the same vein as that Foxblood dress that we got. This is a little retro style black dress. So this is about midi length. This would hit like probably low calf. And this is what they refer to as a wiggle dress. And this is from a brand called Rocksteady. And that is what made me pause on this, because if I had just felt this, I probably wouldn't have thought twice about it. I don't love this fabric. That's just a me thing. But it is that like stretchy kind of crepe. It is very snatching. So this will do all the things for a body. It's got a really pretty like kind of surplice wrap top. But Rocksteady feels very like vintage inspired to me. It just sounded like something in like the ModCloth universe that I was not aware of yet. And sure enough, this is one of those kinds of brands that, you know, sells for a pretty penny. This is a size medium, but sold comps on these wiggle dresses are like 40, 50 bucks. So keep your eyes out for them. Again, dedicated buyer pool, limited supply, magic in the reselling world. If you have any other brands, I know I talked about, you know, Unique Vintage, ModCloth, Sourpuss, Collective, Rocksteady. If you have any other brands for us to keep our eyes out for that you've kind of stumbled upon in your sourcing, drop them down below so we can kind of make sure that everybody's keeping our eyes out for them. Next up, a nice little closet staple. Not much to talk about here, just a little standard James Purse t-shirt. This is just black slub knit, short sleeve, scoop neck, size 4, which I believe is a size extra large. James Purse is just so stupidly expensive. This was probably about $200 new on the resale market. Any of the standard James Purse shirts, like the most basic t-shirt, tank top, whatever, will generally get me a minimum of about 20 bucks. Something like this, somewhere between 20 and 35. Same with men's of the same ilk. Like even their little undershirts will sell for like 25, 30 bucks. Because even just the undershirts, the ones that are like made to be undershirts, like this is made to be a shirt, so it's gonna be a little bit more expensive. Just the undershirts I think are like $100. They're just crazy expensive. So keep your eyes out for that label. I will buy that. I will pay up for it pretty much anytime I see it, but doubly so in the bins. Next up, this adorable little nightgown. This is from Free People. This actually might just be a dress, but just a little breezy, flowy kind of mini dress. So it's like a trapeze style bodice and with a very flippy bottom. These kind of things, like this feels like one of the Intimately nightgowns. These kind of things sell pretty reliably for me, you know, between 20 and 30 bucks. It's a size small because this is likely a dress. It's Free People mainline. This might go for a little bit more, but anytime I see those nightgowns like in the bins, I grab them. They are absolutely positively not something that I would pay up for. I would not be paying $9 or $10 for them in the dress section. But if I get them for like $4 or under, I'm generally gonna be a buyer on them. Also, that's red and butter yellow. So two like the big colors of the season, and definitely not ketchup and mustard. I just can never see those colors together without thinking that. Next up, oh, this was a good one that I found. This is from Maj, which is a brand you absolutely positively should be keeping your eyes out for. Super, super, super expensive stuff. This is just a little linen V-neck tank top. It's linen jersey, slub knit, super, super comfy looking. It says it's a size 2. I can never remember their sizing, so I don't know if this is a medium or an actual size 2. I think it's a medium. This looks like it would fit a medium, but it is in like flawless condition. Again, something that was probably well over $100 new. I'll probably see somewhere like 30 to 40 bucks on it. I just love the feel of linen jersey so much. But either way, make sure that that label is on your radar. This is something to very comfortably pay up for. Oh, next up, I forgot I got this. Speaking of nursing things, this is a nursing cover. Easy way to tell that it's a nursing cover is it looks like a giant shawl, you know, so it's folded over. It's attached on one side and it's kind of unevenly attached, right? So this is the fold. This is about halfway down where it's joined. So it sits on the body kind of diagonally, giving you a little point where you can fit the baby under, so you can easily do this in public. This is from Splendid, which, you know, it doesn't necessarily matter. I found these from no-name brands. I found these from very high-end brands. It is wool of some sort. So it's a acrylic, alpaca, and wool blend. It's in beautiful condition. Splendid, despite the fact that it doesn't resell all that well in general, I'm sure that this will sell just fine because of what it is. You know, it is an expensive brand to start with, and with this being a nursing cover that is made of like a nice fiber, this should sell probably somewhere 30 to 40 bucks, and I'm gonna guess somewhere within a week. Like I said, I've had and sold many of these lightning quick. Next up, oh, this was something that I had to grab. It's just so unusual. I haven't been able to figure out what it was, but just everything about this kind of made me want to get it. I'm interested if any of you guys have any information on it. So this is an oversized, kind of like art to wear piece. It's got these like knit sleeves. It's very wide and boxy. It's giving a little like Mackenzie Childs here on the collar. I don't know why that's checkerboard, and this just kind of reminded me of it. So you can't see who made it because the tag was cut out, but the tag itself is attached in such a way that tells me that this was like a higher end piece. It's made in Belgium, and it's a cotton flax blend. And I know that all of you guys are gonna say, look for the RN number. There is no RN number anywhere on this. And then the back, which is definitely a drop hem, has this design on it, which I have yet to figure out what it is. Guys, drop your guesses as to what you think this is in the comments, because I have not even formed a guess. I have no idea what this is. But either way, this is like art to wear, artsy, that kind of category. So I'll make sure to list it as such, but I do hope I can figure out a little bit more about this. Because like I said, it feels really nice. It feels really high end. I mean, it's finished beautifully. The fibers are great. It's made in Belgium. So like that's not a cheap place to manufacture anything. So I'm so interested to see if I can figure out what that is, but please let me know what you think that design is on the back. Consider this the JM squared vintage Rorschach test. Oh, that's right. And then the last piece that I found that day are these cute little Clark's pumps. And these are basically brand new. Like they still, you know, have the stickers on the bottom there. But they're this like mauvey color, which to be totally honest, this is very much like a nude color to somebody like me who's very like pale and cool toned. But Clark's obviously very well known for making very comfortable shoes, and with a heel that like kind of has a slimmer look to it, but still has that wider base on it. I think that these will sell pretty well for like probably, I don't know, 30, 40 bucks, maybe a little bit more. I mean, honestly, like what size are they? 9.5. Dang it. I was gonna say like, this is maybe like the heel that I would go for, you know? I literally like, there is cushioning around the heel here. I'm about that. If I have to buy a pair of heels, I might be looking at Clark's heels because they feel so nice. Next up, oh, I thought this was cute. So this is a little Zara piece, and it's linen, which is the reason I picked it up. I've really been like very, very selective with which I do get a decent price for them. But again, I've kind of figured out where my like lane is with them. Men's resort wear from Zara sells incredibly well, like usually within a day or two. Linen sells really well. More significant pieces, if you can get your hands on a blogger's favorite, that's a different beast. But this is exactly the kind of thing that I'll find from them. And in case you are ever shopping for yourself, a little tidbit that somebody told me, these little symbols on the tags will tell you which one of their lines that's in. So the square is just like the Zara basics line, right? So this is like their everyday line. If you have one that has a circle on it, that's the Zara women's line, which is going to be a little bit more of like a generous cut. And then if you have the triangle on it, that's the TRF or Trafaluk, whatever it is, that's that line, and that's going to be cut a little bit more towards like junior sizing. So just in case you're shopping for yourself, or if anybody asks you while you are selling. But this is just like a little mini dress, super cute, button down, basic little everyday dress, size medium. So something like this from there will probably get somewhere between like 28 and 35. And I'm gonna guess pretty quickly. Again, a very popular color this season, and like a linen everyday dress is just always yes. Next up, this is a logo I'm always excited to find in the bins, and that is Vuori. These are women's harem pants. So they have kind of like a jogger silhouette, a little bit more volume at the top, but no band at the bottom. So this is meant to sit like on the lower part of your calf and be a little bit baggy. One tip, we were actually talking about it at the bins that day. Anytime you see anything Vuori, because people get these and wear them like to rags, always check the crotch. I mean, like, words to live by when you're out thrifting, but like especially when you're dealing with anything that is a brushed activewear, just like the very nature of this fabric means that it's gonna pill and it's gonna wear down a little bit quicker. Because when you hear brushed fabric, you can take that to mean that this fabric has been like pre-damaged. Because literally what they do is they take the weave and they run like a brush wheel over it to get that like soft hand feel. So like anything brushed is going to be more susceptible to damage, to ripping, to wearing through. It's why the Align leggings pill, same deal. But these pants, I should see around like 40 bucks for these on the secondhand market. And they're a size large, which is great. These should sell in no time flat. Vuori still holding on. I do think we are going to start to see, at least for like the performance joggers, I think we're starting to see the kind of decline in resale price on those as the jogger pants kind of fall out of like the casual wear star spot. But they're still very worth the pickup, even worth paying up for, as long as the prices aren't jacked up. And if you're not sure and you're in a thrift store and you see it for like $19, just do a quick comp check and make sure you're gonna get the profit that you want. Oh, next up, this is just a little thing that I got for my friend. She is a teacher and she does all kinds of things with flowers and stuff. It's just like a little Keith Haring t-shirt. I hope this fits her. She's usually a size medium and this is a size small. So we'll see. If it doesn't fit her, I'll just sell it. No big deal. Anything with Keith Haring's name on it will sell. He continues to have a very strong impact on the world of art and the world of streetwear and in the world that I live in, for sure. So hopefully this works for her. If not, I will get it out to somebody who does. We love Keith Haring in this world here. Next up, the flashbacks. This is a very like mixed emotion for me because this was very much like my childhood, but this is a Jenko shirt. Now, to be clear, I never had Jenko jeans. Those things were like $100 in the 90s and my mother would have laughed me into space if I had asked her for a pair of $100 jeans, like literally laughed me into space, you know? So certainly they were never in my world, but they were like of my world. This is called the Wide Load shirt. It's got this kind of like construction orange with the classic, that's like the Jenko logo that I remember. And one of the girls that we were there, she's like, make sure it's not fake, make sure it's not fake. And I'm like, you know, I'm pretty good at authenticating things. One of the things that is a tell for me immediately is that this is not on a blank. So typically when you're gonna see like a counterfeit piece like this, it's going to be done on like a stock t-shirt that they can buy. And for the most part, when you find a stock t-shirt, it's gonna be like a banded t-shirt, right? Like the wrists are gonna be banded. This is like a custom cut piece. I'll probably see 40 or 50 bucks for it. I just like, I can't believe they're back in. And literally we go to the bins and every one of the bins bros is wearing a pair of Jenko jeans. And I'm like, but can you put a skateboard in that back pocket? Because that was like the flex back in the day. Next up, a nice little bread and butter piece. This is J. Jill, and it's just a little slate blue cardigan. This is like a cotton slub. I don't know if you can kind of see the texture there, but it's a nice little cotton slub. It feels like linen. It's size XL. It's got little front pockets. This is like a great closet staple, something that I'll see between $20 and $30 for. J. Jill, I've really been focusing on things that are made with like a really nice fabric, and things that are in a larger size. They just tend to sell better when you have something that's like a size extra large and up, and this is a size extra large and in like flawless condition. I'm pretty sure that this will go fairly quickly. Again, good transitional piece, good quality fabrics, good size. I'm not gonna get a ton of money for it, but it will be something I think that'll sell pretty quickly. Next up, this is another one of those pieces that I had found earlier. This is like a no-name log and look little piece. It's this brown linen cotton blend with a classic cocoon shape with some big oversized pockets. Now, this is the kind of thing that I will pick up all the time, only at the bins. I would never pay up for this. I will still probably get about $25 for this, and I will probably get it fairly quickly. And I say that because I have done that many, many, many times. As long as it's got the hallmarks of a log and look piece in a decent fabric, that piece will sell for a decent profit so long as you're sourcing it at the right price. Again, I'm only gonna be a player on this at the bins or if I'm getting it for $1 or $2. I would never pay $10 for it, but as long as it's got the look and it's a decent fabric, I'm still gonna pick it up, and I recommend you do the same because I've just had really good experiences with it. Let me know if you have had the same experience. Next up, oh, this cute little skirt. So this is vintage for sure. It's brown corduroy, brown of course, everywhere for next season. This is a midi length skirt. This is meant to sit pretty high on the waist. Looks like it might have had a belt at one point, but just belt loops for now. The brand on this is I mean, like, look at that label. Could anything be more 80s? But it says it's a size medium. This looks kind of small, but either way, again, a vintage skirt, something like this, I'll pick up all day at the bins, and I'll probably see somewhere in the vicinity of like 25 bucks for it. Stuff like this in general, that's around what I'll get, between like 20 and 30. That goes for like sweaters and skirts and stuff like this that aren't like super well-known name brands or that aren't exceptional. That's about what I get for them. I pick them up at the bins all the time when I see them, and they are very reliable sellers for me. Next up, so this is a shirt from Prana, and Prana is a brand that I have really slowed down on picking up, at least when it comes to women's wear. This, on the other hand, is a men's shirt, and I know that the men's stuff still sells fairly decently. I do not find this almost ever. And when I do find it, it tends to be absolutely destroyed. This is the kind of stuff that like guys wear hiking, they wear camping, so they tend to get a little bit destroyed. But this feels like brand spanking new. So it's a little plaid, it's size medium, again, in like flawless condition. This retails like close to $100. They're very expensive. And I'll probably see somewhere between like 25 and 35 bucks on it. We're coming right into like the spring hiking season, the spring camping season. So this should go fairly quickly. It's like a lightweight flannel, right? So it's flannel, it's got that little extra warmth, but it's not too thick. But again, I almost never see men's Prana, like almost never. Oh, next up, I grabbed this shirt because it felt really, really nice, and I have to do a little bit more research on it. The brand on this is I Not Dead. And that kind of sparked my intrigue. Turns out it's a pretty expensive brand from somewhere in South America. I think it was Argentina in particular. But as I got it home and I was checking it in, I realized that there are buttons on the inside of the band collar here. So I'm wondering if there was like a hood at one point in time to get this. So I'm not quite sure what I'll get for this. I do think that this was like the equivalent of $200 or $300 new. It's just like a white button-down shirt. Beautifully made, like, and the cotton is really nice as well, right down to like engraving on the buttons, right? So like the bells and whistles are here. But if this is meant to have a hood, I don't know if I'm going to be able to sell it, you know, for any kind of normal price, but I'll estimate like 20 bucks on the low end, could be closer to 100. I'll have to do a little bit more research on it. But let me know if you are familiar with this brand, because it's the first time I've ever seen it. I picked it up because it felt really nice and the tag was interesting. I'm interested to learn a little bit more because, again, that is beautifully made, beautifully finished. Well, next up, something I'm 150% only a player on ever at the bins. It's just a little Free People movement sports bra. This model sports bra in particular, I cannot remember the name of it, but it is something that they've made for quite a while and people really love. Has a bit of a cult following, and especially if this is a discontinued color, like people will seek that stuff out. I love this blue. Like, this is my blue, but there's a little pine cone, berry. I still don't know what that is. To me, it looks a little bit like hops. But either way, something like this I'll see probably 15 to 20 bucks on, and no doubt quickly. I've sold probably 50 of these little bras, and I will pick them up anytime I see them at the bins only, unless I can get them for like $1.50 at the regular thrift. But typically they're like $5, right? I'm not a player there. I am a player at the bins prices. Next up, oh, this dress is so pretty. This is, I believe, 100% silk. This is very much like a resort wear dress. So it's got the V-neck, it's got the kind of braided strap here, crisscross in the back. It's maxi length in this beautiful green. It's fully lined, also, I believe, in silk. The brand on this, I'm interested to hear if any of you guys have had experience on it, is Female by Sybil and Marilyn. I look at the spelling, any Angelinos are gonna get a laugh here, but I look at the spelling of these names and all I can think of is Angeline. And if you know, you know. But this is a pretty high-end company. It doesn't seem to be that big. I think that what's gonna sell this is the style of it and the textiles. I mean, this is a lot of silk. And this is like a chiffon, and this is kind of like a crepe. So I think style alone is what's gonna sell this. And this is something that'll lean really hard into those resort wear keywords. So, you know, resort wear, resort, space wear, vacation, poolside, beach dress, beachy dress, coastal, all those kind of things. So again, there are a couple other dresses by this brand that have sold in like the $70 range. So maybe somewhere between like 40 and 70 bucks. Again, silk, resort wear, maxi dress is a magic combination. It kind of doesn't matter what the name on the label is, but do let me know if you are familiar with that brand. Another absolutely gorgeous silk piece. And I think that this is actually like a traditional piece, but like I could not leave this behind. Like on my good conscience, I could not leave this behind. Look at this. Look at it. So this is again 100% silk. This, I feel like this is maybe hand painted. Look at that print. Isn't that stunning? So it is completely unlined. It's got this kind of Asian style collar to it. This might be silk as well. This kind of feels like a silk gazar almost. It's got a lot of body to it here. And then it's got these cool little button closures that look like berries almost. So it's got long sleeves with that pattern as well. It does look like it's missing one button. I don't think that's a huge deal. It's probably about a size medium or large, and it's like midi length with this asymmetric hem. So whether it's a traditional garment or not, like I think that somebody who is into like artsy clothing will absolutely love to have this. I truly have no idea what I'll get for this. Maybe somewhere around 40 or 50 bucks. But like, I couldn't, even if somebody just buys this for the silk, I would be jazzed because this is stunning. If I left that behind, that fabric would haunt me. All right, looks like we're down to 4 here. This was something that just felt so nice, so I grabbed it. This is a pair of like knit pants. They're cream color from Organic Basics. Looks like that's exactly what they do. They make organic cotton basics. And this is just a simple wide leg knit pant. It's in great condition. It's a size extra large, and these on the secondhand market are going between like 40 and 50 bucks. So I would say a brand to be on the lookout for. It did look like some of their pieces sell a little bit closer to like bread and butter. So if you see it, just make sure that the profit's there for you. I highly doubt this is a brand that any thrift store would be jacking up the price for, but if you find the more significant piece, probably a good bet to pick up. I mean, this kind of stuff is certainly on my radar. Next up, this was kind of a cool thing. This is a pair of Just Cavalli jeans. Very like simple logo. We were kind of looking at this wondering if they were real or fake, but like quality wise, it's there. Like the construction is beautiful. Like look at that closure button. Like that's just not something that somebody who's duping something would do. Also, Just Cavalli isn't like Emiri, right? Like I don't think they're really being duped that much, but these are what they call their mom jeans. Interesting, they've been hemmed, and they've been hemmed really, really well. It's always so exciting for me when I see a pair of jeans that have been hemmed in a way that keeps the original hem. But these will hit about ankle length. They are a size 25, so they're a fairly small size. So I'll be interested to see how they do. They kind of have a barrel silhouette now that I'm looking at it. You can kind of see it's curved on the outside. This is not barrel. Usually barrel jeans are like articulated. It looks like they'll have that fit. Maybe 30 or 40 bucks on these, but like Roberto Cavalli, anything you have to pick up, especially if you can get your hands on anything vintage, because those pieces are red hot right now. We're gonna do a controlled avalanche here because that is about to topple down. Next up, something I will pick up anytime I see it. I don't know who made this because the tag has been cut out, but this is 100% silk maxi slip dress. It's in beautiful condition, which is just something I will always be excited to see. It's bias cut, so it's going to be very like comfortable and forgiving on the body. It's a size extra large, so they left the size tag on one side, but they cut out the brand tag, so I have no clue, and there's no other tags like anywhere in the dress. But these kind of things, even without a brand attached to them, you know, I'll still probably see 40 or 50 bucks on it. Silk is just very expensive, so something like this retail would be at least $100 from even the cheapest brand, right? So these things do not sit for long, and that pink is just so pretty, right? And then finally, this was like one of the last things that I found in that last table turn. And I was so excited to have found it because, I mean, how often do you find Aviator Nation in the bins. So this is just, they have the Bolt logo on the side. So this is a style that they've made for a really long time. They're in great condition. This is always what I look for. This is the kind of thing that'll like jump out at you while you're digging through a bin. You know, you have to kind of like train your eye to spot specific things, because otherwise this just looks like, you know, a gray pair of sweatpants. So if you can kind of train yourself to catch the logos as they come through, you'll do better in the bins. But these, like, Aviator Nation is so wildly expensive. I mean, these sweatpants were probably, I think they're like 130, 140 bucks. They're constantly having like 30% off sales and they're still over $100. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're just so expensive, but people buy them like you would not believe. Go to like Santa Monica or Malibu, you will not be able to walk 10 steps without seeing somebody in an Aviator Nation piece, and they just have an absolutely cult following, and they're just so expensive. They are very soft. I will give them that. Like, I just can't justify the price, but they are very, very soft. And on the secondhand market for these sweatpants, I'll probably see somewhere between like 40 and 60 bucks. And no doubt within like 2 or 3 days. I have never had anything from Aviator Nation that has taken more than like a week to sell. And I'm including a t-shirt that I had that had a stain like right near the front logo. Sold so quick for like 35 bucks. That is a Bolo bona fide ironclad. If you see it, pick it up. Don't hesitate to pay up for it because you will get your money back. But guys, that is it. That is the haul for today. Again, it started so rough, so rough. Vibes were high, but again, the pickings were real slim until I hit those last 2 table turns. And I gotta thank my buds because they kind of convinced me to stay for like 1 or 2 more. And that's when I found most of this good stuff. So it ended up being a great day. But after all is said and done, I think I've got about $1,300 in sales here. So considering the day started terribly, I'm pretty happy with how it ended up. But guys, thank you so much for choosing to spend a little bit of your time with me. I know everybody is just so busy, so any minute that you spend with me, I appreciate it to the bottom of my heart. But guys, if you had fun, please consider leaving a like or a comment on this video. Of course, don't forget to hit subscribe. I would love to have you along on this journey. All of that helps me out so much with YouTube. But without further ado, guys, I hope you have the most beautiful week. Happy hunting, and I will see you all in the next one.